Do you want to tell them what you just told me?
I want you all to know how much I love you and how proud I am of all of you. And I've just lived a very lovely, joyful life with my beautiful babies all around me. So I love you, and thanks for all your good wishes. And I want you to know how proud I am to be your mother and grandmother and mother-in-law. Love you. Bye, Mom.
Beautiful.
Love you too.
And wine, family and friends. These are my mom's favorite things. So please enjoy and let's celebrate Rosanne. Woo! Salud! Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Voices of my dear friends Pam and Nigel, singing some of my mom's favorite songs. Oh my gosh. Today is a celebration. And that is exactly what our mom, Rosanne, would want us to do in her honor. So we invite anyone who would like to share. Please let either me or my sister Michelle know. We'll get you on the roster. We're going to start today with Michelle. For those of you who don't know, Michelle is, I like to say, Roseanne's number 2 of 5. Michelle, you're up. Michelle's been manning the cameras, and Michelle made this beautiful video. If you haven't had a chance to go into the den, right over here, please stop by. It's a beautiful video of photographs of my mother and her friends and family throughout the years. I think you'll enjoy. So please welcome Michelle. Thank you, everybody, and I wanted to tell you about the video that is being looped in the other room. It's going to be available on YouTube eventually. My goal is by Mother's Day this May, if you do a search for Rosanne Nicassio, you should be able to find this memorial video if ever you want to review it again in her memory. Overcast mornings, rainy days, reading the paper on a weekend morning, fresh air from an open window, the KTLA morning news, fresh oranges, fruit and veggies from the farmer's market, local restaurants where everyone knows your name, celebrating birthdays, making soup and sharing it, clipping articles from the newspaper and mailing them, cooking for family and friends, being a foodie, red wine, visiting wineries, the Bevmo 5-cent wine sale, pictures she could hold instead of digital ones, getting pedicures, the Academy Awards, champagne, independent films, Woody Allen movies, Downton Abbey, Nashville, the TV show, watching the Lakers, setting our clocks back in the fall, Christmas decorations, holidays with her family, black jelly beans, bit of honey, Hawaii, Yosemite, Alamitos Bay, Minnehaha Falls, being out in nature, lush gardens, horses and dogs, being a yoga teacher, having a sister she's close with, her dear friends of many years, being with her children and grandchildren. These are just random things that popped into my head after she left us, and these are the things that she liked, loved, the things that she talked about, and the things that will always remind me of her. I have a story I wrote, a short one. It's called Phoebe and the Last Word. Okay, so far I haven't been able to read this story to myself without
Mary's here, Michelle.
Crying a little bit, so...
Mary's here.
Okay, my understudy, thank you.
You can do it.
Okay.
We're all here.
All right, so... She liked to have the last word. In this case, I did too. Having the last word was important. Neither one of us ever really talked about why it mattered so much, but we both seemed to go out of our way to get the last word in at the end of every conversation. The last word was, love you too. We used our voicemail services to communicate like pen pals.
This is the service of Rosanne Nicassio.
These voicemail services were left over from the early 90s before everybody had cell phones. She kept her service over the years for her yoga students to leave messages. I kept mine for her. She called this service Phoebe, referring to the computerized woman's voice that prompted you when you picked up your messages. She told me many times how much she enjoyed getting Phoebe messages from me, hearing about the stuff that was going on in my life. She said that Phoebe messages kept her company while she was doing things at home, like chopping veggies or putting away laundry. If too many days went by without a Phoebe message from me, she would call and say, I haven't heard you on Phoebe lately. I just want to make sure you're doing okay. I enjoyed listening to her Phoebe messages too. She shared with me what she was doing over the weekend. She talked about TV shows or films that she liked. She gave her opinion on things in the news and always told me about some great new thing she found at Trader Joe's. She loved talking about anything that had to do with food and cooking. Her messages kept me company too. We exchanged these messages every other day or so. And at the end of every call session, we would say, "Love you." But sometimes the message would cut you off, just as you were finishing up and trying to say goodbye, and the last word had not been said. It would have been easy enough to just let it go at that and say, "Well, she knows what I mean." But both of us being sticklers for those last words, we'd go through the whole redial process just to leave a whole brand new message saying, "Well, Phoebe cut me off before I could say goodbye. Love you, bye." The actual, the last conversation that we had was in her hospital room.
Take a breath. Take a breath. You got it, Shelley. You got it. You got it. There you go. Oh, I'll take a sip.
Not a fan of self-medicating, but
Today's an exception.
I stayed late into the night until the staff had me leave. When they said, "Okay, we need you to go now," I leaned in close and said, "I love you, Mom." She whispered with all the voice she had, "I love you too." For decades, we've gone out of our way to have those last words. And here, once again, on that last Sunday night, we each got to have the last word. Love you. I dedicated the video that I've worked for the last 3 weeks on to all of you, the friends and the family and the support that you've brought forward and given to us. It means the world to us. Thank you so much. Salud. That's beautiful, Michelle. Arlene, come close. Arlene Dagan-Weiss is one of my mom's greatest, oldest, I didn't want to say oldest. Oh, she's next. Yeah, you can. I'll crouch down. I don't want to mess up her. Longest known friend since they were 5 years old. And here is Arlene.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you. I was hoping to memorize this, but it's just not going to be possible. My dearest Rosanne, I can't believe I'm doing this for you. Not that I mind, but you were supposed to be doing this for me. After all, you were one with all the oratory skills. I just want to convey all the special feelings, all the moments of happiness and sadness we have shared for the 60 years you have been my friend. The first time I really noticed her in our sophomore year at a Halloween dance. She was wearing a lovely white harem costume with a bare midriff, which was daring for the times. After all, this was pre-bikinis, you know. I thought she was lovely and a bit risque. Later on, we started a club with some of our friends called the Cheyettes. Don't ask me what it meant, but we thought we were pretty hot stuff and very exclusive. One memory I have is driving back from the beach with Charlie Gonzalez and John Hamill, who were drunk as skunks, both barfing out the windows, Rosanne laughing her ass off. I just don't remember what happened after that, but we didn't go to jail, nor were we grounded by our parents. We had lots of adventure over the years. We both married, not to each other. She went to Germany, I went to Bolivia, and upon our returns we continued our friendship. One of the things we did was get for when the Dakins and Weisses rented a beach house at Sunset Beach in the summer. Rosanne, Lynn, and I and our 15 offsprings would get together and party. The adults drank salty dogs and Bloody Marys. I don't remember what the kids did, but no one went to jail. No one drowned, and everyone has become a fine human being. It was a lot of fun and a lot of laughs. We were in each other's lives. Rosanne had so many special qualities. I have already said how beautiful she was, but that was not what was important to her. Over the years, she developed and nurtured the qualities of her mind through metaphysics and her body with yoga. She taught yoga in the Long Beach area, where she's very well known and something of a celebrity. Woohoo! Yay for the yoga people! I once attended a meditation class she was giving, and distinctly remember her touching my third eye and practically knocking me out. Her touch was so powerful. She was a friend, tried and true. She always had your back and would defend you to the death. Her smile was all-encompassing and could light up a room. Her wit and humor were renowned. When she went to the store, she came out with 3 new friends every time. She is very special to all the kids in my family, and there isn't anyone she couldn't engage. She is my daughter Gretchen's godmother, and performed for Gretchen's children a lovely blessing and a lovely ceremony. She came to every event that was special to me and mine. All my art shows, many times she would model, as you can see from the pictures around. She finally got fed up with that and declared that she had 4 beautiful daughters and passed the mantle to them. One of my most special memories was a few years ago. Gretchen was performing and was very, very pregnant. She sang a very lovely song called "And the Story Goes On," which is about being pregnant, babies, and life. The 2 of us sat there holding hands, crying our eyes out. I know we both were profoundly moved by the words and sentiments of that song. Afterwards, the parking lot to her car was flooded, so Fred carried her to her car. I don't think she minded. She was all about family. That was the most important thing to her, and every one of you here knows that. We spoke every week at least for an hour, and of course we discussed our children, their problems, their joys and accomplishment, our concerns and worries about them, and about ourselves as we are aging. Last year, she organized the Nicassio Volz reunion. It was a huge success. When I found out she was in the hospital, it was very traumatic and unbelievable to me, and I'm sure all of us here. Her children and mine, many of mine, rallied to her side. Her family was marvelous in their care. She was never alone. Rosanne always said, "When my body doesn't work right anymore, I am leaving." She did just that and left all of us bereft. There will never be anyone like her. She was special in every way, and I will miss her all the days of my life.
Thank you, That was beautiful. Bernice, there you are. Pontrelli, Moffat. Bernice is a cousin on my mother's side of the family.
Good afternoon. I'm just going to read a poem that I thought would be just perfect for Rosanne. We don't think of Rosanne as gone away. Her journey's just begun. Life holds so many facets. This earth was only one. Just think of her as resting from the sorrows and the tears in a place of warmth and comfort where there are no days and years. Think how think how she must be wishing that we could know today nothing but our sadness can really pass away. And think of her as living in the hearts of those she's touched. For nothing loved is ever lost. And no, Rosanne was loved so very much, and we will miss her very much. With loving thoughts, Joe and Bernice.
Good
afternoon, everyone. I'm Diane Scalia. I'm a longtime friend of Rosanne's. I was one of her brownies when she was our brownie leader. When I was 18, and I have been friends since then. I did not really prepare anything, but I do know a few things that I would like to say. Some of Rosanne's yoga students who are here said that they didn't really know Rosanne in the mom years. I said, well, I kind of knew her in the mom years because I've known her for a really long time. So she was kind of like my second mom. My sister Lisa is here, and we grew up with the Volz girls, and then Stephen was like our little brother. And so we were very tight with Rosanne as a mom because we would have sleepovers at the Volz's, and the Volz's would have sleepovers at our house. And so I will tell you a couple of things that stand out for me about Rosanne being a mom. When we were, Tina and I anyway, were about 6th or 7th grade, there was a show on television called The Partridge Family. And this Friday nights at 8:30 was one of the highlights of our lives. So we were at dinner, I think I was just there. I was a Friday sleepover at Tina's house. We were at the dinner table having tacos or something for dinner, and every 2 or 3 minutes, one of us would say, Partridge Family's on tonight. The Partridge Family's. And Rosanne about lost it finally after about the 15th or 17th time. She said, if one more person says the Partridge Family's on tonight, none of you are going to get to watch it. So all of us just zipped it. I don't think we even said anything for the rest of the meal because we certainly didn't want to miss the Partridge Family. So we did get to watch the Partridge Family, you know, that night. And that was always the highlight of my Friday night. So I was not a fan of the Partridge Family. Now, I had a second story like that. I should have written it down because I don't remember what it was. But I think what I'll do is I'll just keep this brief, and I will tell Tina, Michelle, Andrea, Denise, and Stephen what I wrote on a card for Tina, so you'll have this immortalized. People say that there are no words at a time like this. I rehearsed this so well without choking up. But Lisa and I lost our father 12 years ago. Tina came for the weekend from Minnesota to be with me for the weekend, which was so touching. First of all, before I get into what I was going to say, I want to say that Michelle and Denise have said everyone has been so supportive. I want to say to you that that's just you looking in the mirror. So everything that you're receiving from everyone are things that you put out to everybody that you love. So it's your turn to be on the receiving end of this because you so deserve that. The other thing that I would love to share with you are things that people said to me that I was so moved by when my father passed away, because in fact there are words when this kind of thing happens. The first that I would love all of you to know is that your mother continues to live through all of you and your beautiful children. I don't know that I have ever seen such a beautiful legacy as your family. Lisa and I have talked about how criminal it is that a Volz family photo should be criminal. Too much beauty in one photo. It just shouldn't be allowed. Every single year, the family photo is more beautiful than the last. And I really believe that through your being moms, your being wives, your being parents, husbands, extraordinary friends, her spirit lives in all of you. And from where she sees you now, I promise you, she's smiling and she's very, very proud. So take as long as you need to heal and feel whole again. But having been through that, I can promise you, it takes a while, but after a while you look back and decide that, yeah, it's time to be happy again. And your mom never really left. So please know that, and that's what I have to share with you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Phil. I kind of grew up in this house with Erlene, and periodically through the years, the doors of the cars would open and the Volz's would show up. Many fond memories of group playing around. I have to say that a recent fond memory was when, for my mom's birthday, we gave her an opportunity to what we did, all the kids got together and we got our cruise. We could spend a week in a boat and have some fun. And she had a +1 ticket and she chose Rosanne. And so I got to spend, as an adult, basically a week with her that was a little different than the time when I was, you know, a little kid and she was kind of more of a mom figure, and she was able to, one of those rare people who was able to help the kids through the transition from a parent-adult kind of relationship to a more peer adult-adult relationship. And one of the people in my mom's lives who we've always been really close to because she was so good at that. And so we've had lots of good times in that particular event. Was particularly nice. But one story comes to mind. I was here, I remember, and we were probably watching the Partridge Family. And Rosanne came out of the bathroom with a string of expletives saying, "Okay, boys, put the toilet seat down. And by the way, don't pee on the toilet seat." And I looked to my right, and there's two Volz girls, and I looked to my left, and there's two Volz girls, and I said, "It wasn't me." Always a wonderful person, always loving, and as has already been said, that's reflected in her children, and I've always been really, really happy to be a part of that.
Oh, next up, in queue, Betty Nicassio, where are you? Betty Nicassio is a cousin, and your children? Okay. Oh, us children. She has something up her sleeve. I'm not sure what it is, but apparently Andrea and Tina and Michelle and Steve need to... I have no idea, you guys. I swear I'm not behind this one. I don't know what she's doing to us, but she wants us with her. Betty Nicassio is a cousin on my mother's side of the family. Andrea Nicassio, my mother's cousin. You're up next after this, so stay close. And Nikki Lee, also a cousin on my mother's side of the family. You are, stay close, honey, okay? Come to the mic, honey.
Yeah.
Free ball. Yes. We're Rose Queens today. You guys princesses. Thank you, sweetheart.
First off, I need to apologize for being late today. Rosanne made me go to work. She woke me up and said, I have a job I want you to do today, and this is my job. So, what I titled it is Rosanne Nicasio's Greatest Love. She always knew she'd be a mom since she was just a girl, and when God blessed her with you 5, each one of you became her world. He said, now take these precious gifts and show them greatest love, because he gave them here to her from heaven up above. He said to teach them what is right, but what you do and say, and please remember as a mom and dad to teach them how to pray. The years go by so fast, you know, no matter what we do, and wherever that your paths may lead, her heart will go with you. She only hopes she served you well and showed you greatest love. She hopes she taught you how to pray and thank your God above. Always remember, being your mom was a blessing every day. For Rosanne Nicassio, God sent 5 precious gifts: Tina, Michelle, Andrea, Denise, and Steve. Andre? And that's from all the Nicassio family.
Serve him well.
Andre?
Good job.
Andre Nicassio, my mom's cousin. Boy, are you going to talk about all the trouble you guys used to get into?